Speaking of ESG, you'll also be able to answer about a bit on diversity, how GCs are handling diversity in the organization.
So I think again it depends how we are defining a diversity. Right? There could be a simple diversity of diversity from a gender point of view, but then when you talk of diversity in the holistic sense, it is diversity of thoughts, diversity of different age group that is there, diversity of different kind of experiences that is there. So in my organization, we look at diversity as a whole. We look at a diversity of the thought, right? Because that's what really you need in the organization to have diverse kind of opinions so that there could be a good amount of challenging that is there and you are taking the right decision.
Okay.
Right. So I think all these parameters of ESG are ultimately for enabling you to do your business better, to be more responsible in doing your business, and to be able to kind of do a business which is not only generating profits, but it is also creating an impact, a positive impact on all the stakeholders that you are working with. And diversity is just one such area, because as an organization you recruit a lot of people, and you should not have a biases when you are recruiting the people. So what we believe is, when you're recruiting the people and we are bringing the talent in, they should be representative of the consumer base which is outside, right? So if you work with that philosophy, then it becomes easier.
Speaking of diversity, I want to understand, more specifically, how do you make sure that women employees have an equal space in your organization?
Yeah. So I think you rightly pointed out, it is not about only bringing the women into the workplace and just showing that I am diverse from a numbers point of view. It is also about giving them equal opportunity. It is about ensuring that they are not only coming in, they are getting right care or support that is there for them to grow in the organization. When you are looking at your promotions, whether the representation of female is equal, other things being there, right? So you don't just kind of promote, you bring merit over there, but you ensure that other things being equal, you are giving an equal representation to females as well. So it is about bringing them in, giving them right culture, giving them right kind of growth opportunities, ensuring that they are growing into the organization and there's a roadmap for them, right? So the same input that you give for any member, you give it to the female members as well, at sometimes better as well, so that there's a level playing field that is there for the female employees as well.
Okay. Speaking of GCs, I mean, this whole event is about GCs. The whole day is about GCs. The event is called the GC Conclave. I want to understand, how do you see the role of the General Counsel evolve? Yeah. How has it evolved so far? How do you see it evolving? And what are your thoughts on their increased involvement in the day-to-day operations of the organization and the deeper strategic roles? How do you see that evolution happen in the future?
Yeah. So it has changed drastically for last 20 years since I am in the profession. The role only from a person who is responsible for looking at certain compliances, handling litigation, handling the IP of the company. The role has evolved and has evolved substantially. Today, GCs are seen as someone who can add a lot of strategic value to the business. They can actually play a role of very good risk manager to evaluate what are the risks, how legislation is shaping, and therefore what could be the potential risk for my business and how do I really mitigate them. Also looking at opportunities, that what are the opportunities for my business that could be there, which are existing and I can kind of spot them, or actually build opportunities for your business by policy interventions or other kind of interventions that is there. So I think today GC has become a person who is sitting on the board table as an important stakeholder, playing very important role on the growth agenda of the company. The laws in our country, if you see, are moving from only a compliance to a behavioral laws, right? Where you are expected to do your business more responsibly. You are expected to do your business, in a right way and be accountable to the stakeholders that are there. And that's where the GCs will play a big role, to build that consciousness into the company, to build that system processes in the company where the law is not only being followed but followed in letter and spirit, and company has right processes in place to ensure that the business is being done in the responsible way towards all the stakeholders that you are working with. So I think that's where GCs are playing very, very important role as a risk manager, as someone who is spotting the opportunity, as someone who is really helping company do the business in a right way, in a ethical way. So I think that's where the role is evolving, and laws of tomorrow will be less prescriptive. It will be more about the conduct. The companies are expected to do their business responsibly, and the GC role will therefore accordingly involve from only doing compliance to changing the fundamental way in which the companies are running the business.
Right. One might argue that one of the reasons that the role of GC has evolved so much and it's been so active recently is because of the mushrooming of so many startups in the country. And with this mushrooming effect, it's also true that legal clashes have also increased. How do you think that these clashes can be handled by GCs in a better way?
See, startups is just another kind of a business model, right? These are new businesses which are coming, who are more nimble, more agile, want to do things quickly.
Right.
But as you were yourself saying, that even in startup, GCs are playing an important role, which goes to show that while there is a need for speed in these businesses, there is also a consciousness about doing things in the right way. So it is not about giving a goodbye to the law and doing things, which is a good sign, by the way, right? So GCs playing that role in not only a conventional business but also startup ecosystem to help these businesses, one, move fast, take the decision, but also build those fundamentals which will help them to be in the better shape when these businesses become bigger, right? So that's where the GC are playing the role. Coming to the disputes part of it, I think again disputes could be there in the larger business setup or in the startup setup that are there. Fundamentally, I believe that when you are doing the business, there could be a difference in opinion, right? There are avenues in our law itself, whether it is arbitration, conciliation, mediation, and lot of other things which have come, like ODR, which have online dispute resolution, which have come and in COVID period have taken a lot of prominence. The intention is to resolve it amicably without going through the tedious process, right? And I believe that that's how dispute should be resolved. Ultimately, it's the commercial understanding that is there. Until the time you can resolve it amicably, that's the best way. Yes, there are at times matter of principles where you are not able to come to a common ground with the other party, and then
Right.
you will have to litigate. But litigation should be by exception and not as a matter of rule, because already there are so many litigations which are pending in our country.
Right.
And our court should better handle those bigger things, constitutional matters which are going to impact the society and shape the future of the society, rather than spending a lot of time in small litigations. Yes, litigation will happen; they will continue to be there. It is something when there are two individuals, there is bound to be a difference of opinion. But whether it is a startup system, bigger system, SMEs, or whatever you call it, there is a better way to resolve litigation always.
Okay, last question. This question is more relevant for private law firms, but still I want your opinion on it. With foreign law firms being able to operate in India, how do you feel that will turn out to be in the years to come? Will it be in favor of the legal landscape or against it? How is that decision going to turn out?
I think fundamentally, I believe that any competition is good, right? So if the foreign law firms are allowed to practice in India, I think it will, one, give more opportunities to our law firms to adopt certain processes or certain ways of doing things which the foreign firms have, collaborate with them, and get the best for the Indian industry as well. So, and likewise for the law firms, foreign law firms, they will get access to Indian industry, Indian court systems, advising on the matters in India. And I think India is a growing economy, right? This will continue to grow. We have a footprint across the globe. So I see it's a win-win equation. I think it is really to be seen how Indian law firms will respond to this. But as I said in the beginning, I think competition is good. If it is coming in, I think we should look at it as a positive thing and try to get the best of both worlds.
Thank you so much, sir,
Thank
for sharing your thoughts with us. Pleasure chatting with you.
Yeah, thank you. Same here.